to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Amazon kicks out. They're making what they used to have, like I mean, I used to see this all the time when certainly photography was like, I mean, this is probably Xander toddler. Like when I was way more camera.
Yeah.
Like the kits. Like a DSLR kit with like one lens and a series of batteries and a memory card and a cleaning cloth and a satchel of some
for
sort.
$1,100.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. I think the last two Canons that I bought were essentially like that kind of deal. Like it was a hair under $1,000, but it was like a kick-ass DSLR
with
your son has
75 to 300 zoom.
Yeah.
And some other shorter fucking zoom.
Right. And I could like repurpose all my existing lenses. I'm like, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Your son has like the
one of those
60.
Kids.
Whatever my last Canon was. Because I'm like, I don't fucking use it.
Yeah.
The new thing,
60D.
the new thing that I'm getting proffered with from the Amazon Analytics are content creator bundles. And it's a mirrorless camera, a tripod setup, like an AC adapter battery jack in, so it's not running off of
battery,
right? And it'll run continuously to be used either as a webcam.
Isn't that what we had problems with early on? Was we were using the Canon or something, and it would turn off while it was recording?
Yeah, so some of them have I think they've solved that at this point, or some have a
They
setting.
would get too hot.
It would get too hot, or the recording times hit a like a file size and
limit
then I restart
or a time
or a timeout.
Yeah,
they are absolved most of that. So I'm like, oh shit, really? Oh, ooh,
yeah.
But these are free. They were,
but it comes with.
Oh yeah, but they. Ooh, goddamn! I'm like looking at my kids' Christmas list. I'm like, does anyone want to be a content creator?
Yeah. I mean, I went to school to be a photographer, so like, I love photography. I never really cared much though for the digital side of it. Oddly, I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But what I really part of what I really enjoyed about photography was going in the lab and like printing, like hand printing your shit. Whether it was color stuff or if it was black and white, whatever.
Right.
That's the stuff that I really liked. The smell going into the dark room, the smell of the chemicals, and like the sound of the safe light, and standing in front of the enlarger and like cleaning your film and putting it in the carrier and putting it in the enlarger and then figuring out what you have and then setting up a test print, all that shit. I fucking love that stuff.
Is it because you were taking pornographic pictures of your own anus?
Mostly.
I could see how that would be
because it was
enjoyable.
Like, which starfish showed up today?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Is it the angry one or the man that was...
Or the shy guy.
Bad tie.
The bad tie guy.
You're like, that's not a necktie reference.
And like, my graduation point would have been right at the beginning of the digital stuff. And I was going to Sac City College because they had a really good lab and photography department. And when I was going there and I was just like a couple semesters or a semester or two away from being done, they started getting like the really expensive Nikon Cool Scan, like film scanner. And they like Photoshop was just starting to really become a viable tool.
Right.
And so the digital part of it, that was, I was into it. I did stuff in Photoshop. That wasn't a problem. But for my own photography, that wasn't the thing that I wanted to do.
Right.
And I ended up doing a lot of Photoshop work.
Right.
Especially like Photoshop 3 or whatever, like whatever the the first one was like the really big sort of standout product. I think it was Photoshop 3. I did a lot of work in Photoshop, and back in those days, it was for work. I was doing like interface work and stuff like that, like ads.
Yeah.
Things like that. And Illustrator. Photoshop and Illustrator were my go-to tools. But like for like shooting photography, like going out and doing still photos or portraiture of people, like the electronic part of it, the digital aspect of photography wasn't what I was into. Mm-hmm. Or was like necessarily trained on. Not that you couldn't come over, but
right.
But that wasn't the thing that really got me excited about photography, because the shooting aspect of it was one part of it, but then
the developing,
the
mechanical,
process of making your print afterwards, like processing your film, doing the actual prints, doing proof sheets with your film, mm-hmm. All that kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff I really enjoyed, and the smell of the dark room, hearing the water in the washer working, mm-hmm. All that stuff. That was the stuff that I really liked. And I even had aspirations of making a dark room in my garage. I was starting to amass like things like chemicals and all kinds of stuff that I could use. And it just never happened. Life happened. And so, and then everything went digital. So then it was
like in a snap.
Yeah, everything went digital. So then it became, well, I don't need to do that anyway. But then like working on your pictures like on the computer screen are cool, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Because with film, what you shoot is what you get, right?
Oh yeah.
There are some manipulations you can do here and there, but like for the most part, whatever is in that frame that you shot and developed is what you're putting down on the paper.
Oh yeah.
And there's something missing out of the digital aspect of that for me.
Yeah.
Which is sort of what kind of pulled me out of it a little bit, mm-hmm. and made me lose interest. That, and I was working for a tyrant. So as a photographer.
Yeah.
So, and that was very much back when I worked for that photographer or for that company. It was all analog. I was processing film and paper and all that kind of stuff and shooting film. So
I got circle on that.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's a Sad Dads Club podcast, episode 218.
Yeah.
We're
getting up there.
I'm Lord Fu.
I'm Jim.
In that same vein.
Yeah.
So I have two routes there. One is, I've had, when my dad and we were going to Alaska, we had a pretty extensive talk about photography.
Yeah.
In the same way you talk about like a passion for like the developing, the mechanical part, and you touched on it, like when I was talking with my dad, I'm like, there is certainly a lost with the advancements of digital capabilities.
Right.
There is certainly a lost art in what I would probably call like a photographer's eye, an ability to compose a shot with the understanding that it has to all be right here.
Yes.
And I think digital advancements have smooshed or reduced that art and skill set, because so much can be done in post. Like when I look at even when I first started, like I was much more like an Illustrator guy. I didn't really touch Photoshop until well later into stuff. And when we started doing this, my dabbling in like photos was like somewhat of like a family joke. It's like, oh well, Jay's the digital guy. He'll
right.
Photoshop it, and like always, there was an understanding in some of the middle before Adobe was like a cloud product. Like there was
way back when.
Yeah, there was like probably 10 years ago. Like I was heavy into it, and then I got out of it because kids, dad stuff,
right?
Sad dad life. In picking that stuff back up for the show, like creating thumbnails and stuff, like my workflow and like, oh well, I've got to remove the background from these screenshots, and like some of my old work for like, okay, so I'm like creating a mask around here, click, 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 click. Now
you just click on a color.
Now Photoshop is so fucking advanced with AI and analytics and metrics, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Now there's just remove background button, and that fucker is gone within 95% of what I was shooting for, and then I'm coming in with like a little thing that's like
cleaning up
and just cleaning up.
Yeah.
The time saving is immense, absolutely immense. But in coming from a place where we're just on the fringe of like, so you certainly more than me, in understanding the mechanics of developing film. When I take pictures with my camera, I then have to go to CVS or Walgreens or Thrifty or Safeway and drop it off. And then in 24 hours, I come back and I have an envelope full of sheets that I have to, that I'm then looking at and went, oh, motherfucker, that thing is way out of focus.
Well, that was what that was what I was going to say was in the film days, you had rolls of 24 or 36, right?
Right.
And you shot, I had to be pretty conservative with how much film I shot, even when I was working for the studio, because part of my studio work was because we sort of like, we sort of worked with the schools in the area. So we would go shoot football games and basketball games and volleyball games and water polo, like you name it. Like we were out shooting stuff that went into the yearbooks and that kind of stuff. Sometimes it went in local papers and that kind of thing. So you had to be really conservative and hopefully you haven't messed up your exposure.
Right.
Or whatever, or your focus was spot on or something, because these were the professionally shot. Because if you've ever seen what the kids at the high school yearbook level go and shoot, they are awful. And I know this because I have developed hundreds of rolls of film that came in from all the schools through our film processor, and looked at what they have, and they were always all garbage. Yeah. So, always. Yeah. And so we were taking the pictures that were going in their yearbook, right, and all that kind of stuff, like for the big, like here's the football picture, here's of an action shot or whatever. So you had to be, that moment comes and goes, and you're only shooting like. Shoot 3 rolls at this event or 2 rolls. So you've got less than 100 shots to get something good, decent.
Right.
Whereas with digital, if you got memory cards, snap.
I was going to say, now the thing is you don't really miss a moment.
You overshoot.
Like, you watch highlights of like any sports event, like football comes to mind because I tend to watch those highlights. Like a receiver catching a pass towards the sidelines, and he's running into a cameraman in the end zone.
Yeah,
those guys. If you see, they shutter button is down, and they're in a somersault, and they're still grabbing shit. You don't see. You're not going to really see that in a place where you have to then worry about do I have time?
To
change out this roll. And be ready for the next moment. In digital, you're just like, fuck, check this one.
So my camera, I had a Canon EOS Elan, which I really love that camera. I still have it. But it was a really good camera from a film loading standpoint, because you could basically, pop the back open, you pop the canister into the one side and you just rolled the film out. You didn't have to tuck it in. You just got the film to the line and closed the back, and then the camera would do the work and roll it for you.
Oh.
So as long as you got the film pulled to the right spot and closed the back on it, it would, and you would hear it and it would be ready to go. And it took just a couple of seconds for that to happen. But you don't even have to do that now. And you got really good at like, okay, I got, I'm at 36. Probably got 1 or 2 left. Oh, and then it would auto rewind. So now you're waiting for the camera to pull the film back in the canister so you can remove it from the camera without destroying it. And then put that used canister in a pocket, pull the new, put it in and pull it and close it. And it was, it took maybe 30, 40 seconds.
Right.
But that was 30 or 40 seconds that
you
weren't
missed
shooting.
The end zone dance or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But also you could, that camera would also chat. It wasn't as fast as a digital camera, but because it was film, it has to advance the film. It shoot a frame and advance the film and shoot a frame. So you could roll through a 36 roll in nothing flat if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many frames. It was maybe 4 or 5 frames a second or something. It wasn't very fast, not compared to today's.
Yeah, right.
But for film, that was not terrible.
I'd say on the flip side, though, too, I mean, like in our UK trip, I was like the advancements do work for the consumer, even though I was on an iPad doing what in 5 to 6 years prior would have been, you need a PC for this kind of processing and wavos and like color changing and color grading. I was doing what was to me like, wow, this feels so cool, but yet also
way too easy.
Yeah, way too easy.
Yeah.
On pictures that I took with an iPad. Like these are amazing pictures. And then too, the convenience of like developing. Like there are way more options for I want this product on my wall. Like Google Photos now solicits you with like, hey, do you remember this photo? Would you like to print it? Apple has the same sort of thing. Like, here are some memories. Here's a collage.
Apple used to have a book publishing thing that you could go and like pick what the cover color was going to be.
It's an app now. I looked at. I got a thing.
I mean, I don't know so you can actually do that now.
Yes.
So I don't know. This is years ago, and I think I bought one for Shanna at one point, but it's loaded with pictures of the kids. However many pages it is, that you just submit all the shit. You like work on it and submit it.
Yes.
And then the book and pay for it, and the book shows up.
To the best of my knowledge, they've like outsourced that to like a couple recommended apps that I think are probably paying. To be at the top, but
this was app through Apple.
This I think it's been outsourced. When I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this would be cool. How would I do? My dad doesn't listen. I got him I did a picture.
Careful now.
Yeah. Hashtag Dad.
Close them.
If you're actually listening.
Volume down for 10 seconds.
You already went too far. Yeah. I took a picture on the phone, a really nice picture from like the patio of the cabins that we were at in Alaska. And I'm like, well, I've done plenty of those things through Google when I had, Pixels and other Android-based phones. Google's process is just as easy and convenient. And then there are a couple other like third-party unaffiliateds where you just drag and drop your picture. But Apple's like, yeah, you can do this. Here are the apps that we recommend to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll install this. Hi. What pictures, or would you like to make an album? I just want a thing. Would you like to print it on a canvas? Would you like to print it on the metal?
Right.
Yeah, fucking put it on the metal. Because my dad thought that was just the hottest shit.
Yeah.
Because they had some pictures on a wall behind us at the table in the cabin that were printed on the metal.
Yeah, that's really cool.
On the metal. And like all of the old grandpas were like, that's amazing. And ting, 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 ting.
It's metal.
It's on metal.
It's like aluminum.
Fascinating. It's like, so it won't ever warp or like fade or anything. And it looks like it's got a coat of clear on there. That's amazing. Fascinating. Yeah, fucking A, guys. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I should wow. Look at that one.
Nice.
That's amazing. They were just absolutely blown away. It's metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got one of those in the house, Dad. If you've ever looked at it long enough, you would know.
Nice.
Anyway. So it's super convenient.
Yeah.
But yet at the same time, you're like,
I know. Yeah.
Like, do I really have a good eye, or is my camera like totally just smushing? Because I really enjoyed, like I said, I've owned a number of SLRs, DSLRs. I've spent some good money on lenses that I have now given away and just resigned to the camera that does a fucking really good job.
Do you know what the best camera is?
The one that you have.
Exactly. So if you're not carrying around an EOS 60D and you have your phone on you, then that's your best camera.
I have really nice camera bags, Jim.
Oh, I do too.
That are way too big for my fucking phone.
I got a pro level bag that will blow your mind. Seriously. I got lights. I mean, you name it. Yeah, I got all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Fucking reflectors and all kinds of stuff.
The other path that I was going to go was at, hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
At our Thanksgiving dinner hosted by my brother and sister-in-law, #KCAM. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Food was great. We were talking about, at some point in conversation, my sister's gone back to school. And apparently something in her financial aid package, like questionnaire, when she was filing for it, had it asked siblings, and they're like, did any of them have a college education or degrees or anything like that? And my brother, he went to Full Sail, which was like a gaming computer science design kind of thing, like an all-in-one package, kind of like a.
Is it around still?
I don't know. It's like a HEALD or an ITT technical institute, but for like gaming kind of thing.
Yeah, or a technical school.
Yeah. He got an associate's,
yeah.
So he has that, and my sister is working towards something like an actual degree.
Yeah,
and so then it became apparent that I was the only sibling
that doesn't have any sort of higher education past high school degree. And yet, I assure you, I am the smartest. Maybe because
and I went,
you don't have it.
Right. And I went,
you weren't dumb enough to spend all that money.
And when you're at the top, when you're talking about, I just ran into things. I had to do certain things.
Right.
And then, you become a dad and you have other financial obligations. And it was like, but yeah, I'm sitting there and we're all just kind of chatting. And I went, that kind of bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time either way. And the money is better spent and needed for other things.
Right.
That's fine. But I went, I'm gonna have to come back to this one when I have an opportunity, and I need to have one of those.
My wife has it's essentially an associate. It's a technical degree from National Broadcasting School, which is now defunct.
Oh,
so it's no longer. She went through the program and got her diploma and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the school doesn't exist anymore, which is kind of a bummer. Chandler has he has 1 or 2 AAs, I think. And then
Melly, obviously.
Yeah, Melly has
her
bachelor's and she's going for a doctorate right now. I think my brother has his bachelor's, my older brother. Yeah. I mean, we all have our own paths.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm like, but and I was thinking about when I've kicked around going back to school, it was like, I want to learn a trade, I want to be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily care about a degree, but then like this came up and I went,
see, I'm more.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to wrap all that into a bow.
I'm more interested in taking classes for something that I want to learn about,
right?
And not necessarily going through a damn program necessarily for a degree or an AA or whatever.
Right.
I don't need all of that necessarily.
Right.
I just need to learn the thing that I want to learn.
Yes.
Like, for example...
Until your siblings outshine you, and then you have to get the degree.
Well,
get on my level, Jim. God damn.
I was literally 3 units away from my AA and never finished. Right. But then I got a job and I was working in high tech, and out of just sheer curiosity, signed up for some classes at Sierra College, which is, for those not in the area, local
junior college,
and took some C courses and just learned how to code in C, and took that as far as I could, because the next level was Java.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't want to learn Java. I want to learn C and C++. I don't care about Java.
Right.
And for the most part, most of the companies that I've worked for, or the companies that I have worked for, aside from one of them, code in C++. They don't use Java necessarily. Java is sort of like support language for other stuff. They don't use it as like, we built this whole app in Java. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just never found that super interesting. And in my experience, most engineering worlds are not Java. They're C, C++. It probably depends on what you're building.
Yeah.
If you're building apps and stuff like that.
#HeyWill.
Then maybe not. Maybe it's not C++, but
I'm sure there are probably plenty of legacy companies that are still like, we need one of these old guys that know the old ways
right.
to update our shit.
We need Fortran guy.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
I'm sure those people are still around.
Yeah.
Or Ted. #HeyTed.
Yeah.
Ted knows.
I mean, I learned how to code in junior high with BASIC. In junior high.
I don't code.
It's very interesting, and there's a lot of ways to be very clever if you are very in tune with it. But I learned it just because I wanted to understand how it worked, you know. And for the most part, they're all fairly similar. There just depends on what they support, and, you know. Anyway, it's just really interesting.
I have.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to tell this story.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with C++?
No, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
probably not.
Thanksgiving dinner was like 5-ish.
Yeah.
So
was it on Thanksgiving?
Yes, ours was actually on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Hey, you had an exception, so you're afforded.
Right.
You're afforded opportunities. So somewhere about noon, I'm like, I've kind of got to get my side dish stuff that we were bringing started. But I had been in a house. I'm like,
naked.
Yeah, just
dangling.
Balls out, man. You know, enjoying the turkey day.
Yeah.
I hadn't gotten out of the house, and, you know, gym stuff of late, and like trying to be active. I'm like, I need to get out of the house before I then spend the rest of the evening inside a house. And somewhere about noon, 1-ish, I was like, well, I've got to start cooking, but I'm gonna get out of the house for no other purpose other than I'm gonna go put gas in the car.
Okay.
That was my intent. I grabbed the key. I walked into the kitchen and I told Venus, I'm like, I'm going to get gas on the RS, and she went, okay.
And
I was like, oh well,
not a concerned or
no. It was just like, oh, he needs to get out of the house, and please get out of the house or something. And I'm like, I'm out of energy drinks too, so I'll just 2 birds, 1 stone. The RS needed gas. I was out of energy drinks.
And you were out of gas.
Yeah, and I was out of gas. I'm like, I'm gonna go get gas. So I drive down to the Chevron station.
Yeah.
They have a 2 for $5 or something inside anyway. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I put the pump in, go into the convenience store part, grab 2 energy drinks. I'm like one back in line, and a grandma, aged lady, obviously.
60, 70.
Yeah, walks in through the door.
All of those?
All of those. Pick one.
Okay.
She looked a little bit older than my father, so 75 plus.
Okay.
There are 3 people behind the cashiers, and it's like in an L bracket. The one person that's attending to the person in front of me is like the one that's actually doing business. The other person is like counting stuff at a register that's probably just been closed. And then there's like a third person mingling behind all of them.
That's the lottery person.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The grandma walks straight in, and she goes to the lady who's just counting stuff at the register, who is not giving
open.
her, not acknowledging that she's there. The grandma has in her hand a folded piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and my first inclination is I don't really see the paper, but all I see is some lady came in, cut in front of me, and is trying to get her business done before the rest of the people who are in line get theirs done. And she's saying something, but I can't quite hear it, and the attendant isn't giving her the time of day. The third person, who's agnostic, a young man in his 20s-ish, comes over and speaks to her, and then I gather she's not paying for anything. She's lost.
Oh.
And she has directions in her hand.
Okay.
And she's trying to get somewhere, and as that conversation starts, the guy who is buying cigarettes or something, he's having trouble getting change for his thing, and his ID getting checked for cigarettes and whatever.
Because he was 12?
Yeah, because whatever, bro. I'm picking up more of the conversation. She's lost, and at no point does she have what looks like a phone or smartphone or anything. And so the young man she's like, can you tell me how to get here? And he's like, oh, okay. So you're gonna, typical what someone would do, turn
right at the fork.
You're gonna go here, and then
you're
left
see
of the
big
light.
Blue thing.
Right.
Turn
He's
left
giving
there.
her visual directions, and expecting memory retention.
She's gonna be like, oh, okay.
And you can see the eyes are kind of glazing over as he gets through a minute or so of directions on how to get to where she's going.
No. Yeah.
Because he is pulled up on his phone, essentially maps, Google Maps or something, punches in the address, and he's doing direction, okay, you're going to go here, and then here, and here, and here. And midway through that part of the conversation, I get up to the register, pay for my 2 energy drinks, and...
What's the address you need to go to? Just follow me.
Right. So she's like, sweetheart, can you just write it down? So she hands him the paper, and he's starting to pencil in left, right. Blah, blah, blah. I get out of this. I walk out. I get to the car. The pump's done. I put the pump in the thing, and I'm being hooked. My mind is like, no.
Mm-hmm. She's never going to get there.
She's never going to get
She's
there.
going to get murdered on the way, and it's going to be your fault.
I get into the car. I shut my door, and I went, it's not going to happen. It's fucking Thanksgiving.
Right.
I get out of the car. I walk straight into the thing, and he's still writing directions down to her. And I go, I don't mean to be rude. I overheard the conversation. If you give me the address, I will put it in my phone, and I will drive you right to the door.
Yeah.
And the young man who's like, yeah, he's already silver dollared eyed.
Right.
Because something tells me he knew.
She was never going to get there.
We don't have a Compton in Roseville, but maybe there's a Compton in Rockland.
But he was going to send her there no matter what.
He was going to get, and, was his writing legible? I don't know.
Right.
So.
There's nothing interactive about that piece of paper.
You could see. Yeah, because he's going to get her across 65 or something while she's holding an 8.5 by 11 and get arthritis or into a turn lane or something.
Yeah.
So you could see, thank you and holy fuck.
You're saving me, bro.
Right, all in the same thing. And I said, if you just give me the address,
I'll punch it
and
in.
she's like, oh, okay. Well, that's so nice. Like, I punch in the address and I said, you're in the white Lexus right here? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm in the black.
Keep up with me.
Yeah. I'm in the black hatchback and I hit it hot. You need to keep your foot on the sauce because otherwise you get left in the dust, Grandma.
You're going to see some 4-wheel burnouts.
Yeah. You ever seen a drift? I hope that Lexus is popped with the 6 or the 8 because you're going to need it. I kid.
No, you don't.
Yeah, not really. You need a tow rope because this shit's hot.
Just put it in neutral.
Right, and I run all the reds. I California stop the stoplights or the stop signs. This shit. Anyway, she's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm in the black hatchback. Don't worry, just follow me. I'll take you right there. She's like, oh, absolutely. So we get out. She turns around real fast.
Oh my gosh! I just went somewhere funny in my mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, thank
you." How did you know?
Yeah, that's how you say.
How can I repay you?
Yeah.
And my teeth are out.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Sorry, kids. If you ever
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Given where she was going,
like Grass Valley,
yeah, she was way fucking lost.
No,
she needed to be essentially just before the Safeway over off of on the other side of Blue Oaks.
Okay.
And 65.
Oh shit!
So she's over by your house by the Chevrons, like wrong side of the freeway, way wrong side.
Yeah.
So I drove her right there. The house was in a cul-de-sac. I just drove around, driver window, and I think she was red, like maybe a little embarrassed that she was that far off. I don't know, or maybe she was just that grateful to be there.
Yeah.
I just kind of leaned out, pointed like, here's the place you're going. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You're an absolute doll. Happy Thanksgiving. And I just like, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Yeah. Dropped a gear and just fucking left that place in a drift with the Scandinavian flick. And I hope I may have hit a cat on my way out.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, man. Shit. That's what they make cages for.
Good eating.
Yeah. In case you burn the turkey. And then I went and bought a lotto ticket and didn't win. So the karma didn't work out.
Damn it.
But I was at one of the stoplights and I took a picture just so I'm like, you won't believe, like I just sent it to Venus because obviously I was running long, like I went to go get gas and energy drinks and I'm gone for half a fucking hour. I'm like, I'm guiding Grandma to her Thanksgiving. And when I told the story to the family.
Was Biggie.
Yeah, it was Biggie. Are you lost? You've been fucking portaling, huh, dickhead? You don't know where you're going?
You have no idea where you're at.
This ain't Vetzel Brown, you dipshit. The reason none of your family is calling you is because they don't want you here. Biggie.
Go inside.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. And obviously the question that kind of got taught, well, how does someone not know that she's lost?
Right.
And how does she not have a phone?
She knew she was lost because that's why she was asking for directions.
She didn't have a phone to call anybody.
Yeah.
And as a family member to wherever she was going, it wasn't like she went to like an Applebee's for Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
She went to a home.
Right.
So, where's Grandma? I don't know. Grandma don't have a phone.
We told her to be here at whatever time, but we all snickered and thought she'll just never make it.
Yeah. Her salad dressing's the shit anyway. No one likes it.
God.
I hope she gets a Chevron hot dog for Thanksgiving. Anyway, so
that's good.
You
got her.
I got Grandma home for Thanksgiving.
Got her home for Thanksgiving.
Made me feel good.
That's fun, actually.
Yeah.
Even though there's plenty of jokes in there.
Right. I'm like, I got out to my car. I'm like, yeah, he'll handle it. He'll handle it. And I'm like,
yeah, I probably would have done the same thing.
I'm going back inside.
Yeah.
hey, if there's one thing that Ingress has taught me, it's like where the shortest route to get to some of these places. If ever there was someone to help another person escort, it's an Ingress player.
Right.
Like my way around, like, oh, okay, I know where you're going. Like that's right over there by fucking. Yeah. I know where that is.
So a couple weeks ago, I was sick. I was sick as a dog. It's Tuesday morning. I get a text from my wife, and all I see is something about the garbage, because Tuesday is our garbage pickup day.
Okay.
And I go, oh shit, the garbage isn't out, right? And I don't fully read her text. I just see the notification come across my phone, and I quickly, because it's time, they could be there any second.
Right.
And I'm like throwing on clothes and put on my slippers and through the garage and open up the garage door and run out there. And my neighbor is walking his dog right at the end of my driveway. And my garbage can is sitting out there. And I go, oh, like I'm confused because like I just got up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, and I just say to him, oh, did they come yet? And he goes, no, not yet. I'm like, okay. And I kind of,
you're out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went back inside and closed the door. And I thought, oh, maybe she said I was able to get the trash out this morning.
Right.
I realized it wasn't out and got it out. And then I think at some point a little later, I went and looked at the message and it said, can you put the trash out? Because we forgot it.
Oh, okay.
And I go, but it was out. And then I realized my neighbor had put my trash out. And I went out there like a fucking idiot.
Right.
And
he walked away and was like, ungrateful dickhead.
And I'm like, oh shit, like he put my trash out. Mm-hmm. And I went out there like a fucking idiot, was like, oh, do they pick it up yet? Mm-hmm. Like, hello, you know what I mean?
I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah. And then so it stuck with me for like 2 weeks until I finally saw him again, because he was always out walking the dog or one of the dogs. And I'm like, Ed, man, I'm sorry. Like, I realized some point later after I went in that you probably were the guy that put my trash out that day.
Right.
And thank you so much. I was not feeling good. And my wife sent me this message that I partially saw, thinking that the trash wasn't out. And when I went out there, it was there. And then I was confused and you were there. And I was like, did they pick it up yet?
Why are you in my trash?
Yeah. It's just, but people that help other people like that, that's awesome. And he's like, well, your trash cans, I know exactly where it is, just right there. So I just grabbed it and rolled it down. He's got 3 giant golden retrievers. So that is not an easy task for him to like wrestle with the dog and get my heavy ass trash can down the driveway to the street. So that kind of stuff like is meaningful, right?
Oh yeah.
The fact that he even thought to himself, oh, these fucking idiots don't have their trash out, and probably it's full because ours is always full, and they're going to be screwed. And he went ahead and just put it out. And then I came out like a total douche, but no, I was able to thank him and apologize and like, oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't feeling good, but
yeah,
I love that stuff. Anyway, but did you also have Chevys on Thanksgiving? Because that's what we had.
I was waiting to hear how the hybrid went.
It was fine. We had a good weekend. It was my daughters, for those not in the know, my daughter came home. Her birthday was on Thanksgiving. We probably talked about this last week a little bit.
Yeah.
Her birthday was on and she was like, under no circumstances are we having Thanksgiving anything on my birthday. It is not even Thanksgiving. It is my birthday. Mm-hmm. And then she wanted Mexican food of some kind. So it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
Finding somewhere that's open was difficult, but Chevy's was open. So we went to Chevy's and had a nice dinner and her birthday and had a great day. And then we had Thanksgiving on Saturday. So we pushed everything to Saturday. and we made pies, stuffing. I smoked a turkey. I want to say something else, and took it up to my in-laws' house.
Okay.
Smoking the turkey was a process.
Yeah.
With the brine, like a day's worth of brine, and then I had to get up at 4:00 in the morning to make sure the turkey was on the smoker so that it could smoke its 13 hours. Oh my gosh. I was very tired.
Did you end up with a lot of leftovers?
It was a 20-pound bird for like 4 or 5 of us.
So you have lots of...
Yeah.
We ran into... Because we did Thanksgiving... Like I said, we did Thanksgiving at my brother's.
Yeah.
And he had a big bird. And then we had Friendsgiving at Sarah's.
Yeah.
She had a decent-sized bird as well.
Yeah.
And we had our fill, and I think from my brothers we actually had like a small like to-go box that we took. No one leaves without taking something if there's spares.
Right.
But it was like enough to make maybe two sandwiches, and I think we had joked maybe Friday or Saturday, like Venus and I are like, well, I might have to cook a turkey just so we can have the leftovers that like we've been used to make. Yeah. Well, now it's turkey enchiladas or the sandwiches for lunching or whatnot.
Right.
It's like, fuck, we're without leftovers of a typical when we cook in house.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I kind of like having the turkey.
Yeah.
And for those that have been listening for probably 2 years about your sandwich that you shorted me on originally.
I shorted you on?
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, I'll make you a sandwich. You'll bring by a sandwich."
Oh, and then I never did.
And then you never did. You made the fabled sandwich.
I did,
and dropped it off.
Yeah. How was it?
It was amazeballs.
You like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Your turkey was super moist. I will be honest. I am not a cranberry guy.
Yeah.
It's usually at like Thanksgiving, I'll like partake very little, if at all.
Yeah.
Like it's just I prefer.
I don't even eat cranberry at Thanksgiving during the dinner. I don't.
Yeah, it's not.
The only time I eat the cranberry is on that sandwich.
On the sandwich.
Yeah.
I am not. Yeah.
I don't go overboard on it. It's just kind of drizzled on in a couple spots.
Venus and Piper will. I'm not sure if it's 100% Piper's first choice, but Venus Enjoy is like a turkey cranberry. Yeah. Like if she's going to Togo's or Subway or even Rayleigh's, I think offers like a variant. She'll get that.
Yeah.
So it's very much her bag. When I make a turkey sandwich, cranberry sauce is not on it.
Yeah.
Just about everything else.
Yeah.
It's just I don't necessarily like the sweet. Yours was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I only got half because I saved half for my wife who has yet to eat it.
Oh.
I thought she
eat that shit. What is she waiting for?
Here's the thing. Oh, you dropped it off.
Yeah.
My daughter was here. I cut it in half.
Yeah.
I gave half to my daughter thinking she would eat it. She took a bite. Oh, that's really good. Where's my sandwich? And I went, he only dropped off one. And then I bagged up the rest.
Yeah.
The uneaten half.
Yeah.
So my daughter got a bite of mine. I finished the rest.
Yeah.
And I saved the other half.
Well, I didn't realize I needed to make multiple sandwiches.
Yeah, you fucked up. Well, so Piper really liked it too.
Yeah.
And this morning, the Ziplocked half that was reserved for my wife, my wife left.
Oh, she forgot it.
And either forgot or didn't want it. I'm going to say forgot.
Yeah. She's going to get an angry text from me.
When Piper, yeah, she should, and rightly so, because she fucked up. Because I saved the sandwich from her daughter, who was like, did Mom not want the sandwich? And I went, what? I don't know why. She's like, I'm not hungry, and the sandwich is still in there.
And it's good.
And I would eat it. And I went, don't touch that sandwich. I'm sure your mom is either getting something else or she took one of the other prepped lunch things for lunch.
Yeah.
Or she didn't take anything, and then she's in trouble because she didn't take a lunch. But I told her, don't touch the fucking sandwich.
Well,
it's
the real tragedy is today
mom.
I forgot to make a sandwich.
It's the bread is really nice too.
I love
we
that
made
honey
jokes
wheat
about
berry
like the honey wheat berry.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no real berries.
I think I
if
don't
it's
know.
on the top, it's anywhere. But I'm like, it's like a really soft, moist,
grainy
wheat. Yeah,
hard, like a real hearty.
Yeah.
But moist.
A really good.
Yeah.
Really good bread.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was the bread, mayo, turkey, cranberry sauce. That's it.
Swiss.
Oh, and Swiss. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Handful.
And so the secret is that you put the Swiss on one half, and then you put the turkey on the other half, and then you put the cranberry on top of the turkey so it doesn't soak into the bread.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't make a big mess.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is, yes. Oh, my gosh. So last year, we went to Disneyland for Thanksgiving. Remember, we were gone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We didn't have any turkey last year, so I got no sandwiches last year.
Oh, yeah.
So it had been...
That's right.
2 years since I'd had a turkey sandwich. Because it's not like I roast turkeys in July or March. If you don't get one at Thanksgiving and maybe you don't make one at Christmas, then you just don't get any turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you do a Christmas turkey?
Sometimes. I don't. No. Or I haven't, typically. I might do a brisket this year.
Really?
Yeah, thinking about it. Yeah. Smoke a big brisket. That sounds delicious.
You have to really pry me away from like a prime rib, though.
I'm not a big prime rib guy.
You are confused about life.
Am I?
And meat.
Oh. Well, I like fillets.
Well, sure, whatever. The best Christmas dinner involves the prime ribs.
I don't know. I'd rather have a smoked brisket.
Again.
I'm confused.
You're confused about life.
I remember that now. Yeah. But, yeah, good weekend, and it was a whirlwind. I mean, she came home, and it was just like everything just turned on its ear for the whole weekend. And then Monday, we had to get up at 3:30 to take her to the airport for her 5:30 flight.
Balls o'clock.
Yeah, so that Monday was a rough day. But yeah, it was just whirlwind, man. Whirlwind of a weekend.
It was a good Thanksgiving. Had a bunch of really good. We missed you at Friendsgiving for sure. Good conversations.
Yeah.
It was good peoples.
Yeah.
Small affair, but it was still good drinks, good food.
Yeah.
Good conversations.
Yeah.
I hope everyone had that opportunity because, it gives you the good feels.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good weekend overall. I can't believe we're like now in the throes of Christmas season. It just seems like I always feel like Christmas sneaks up on me, and every year in my mind I tell myself that I'm not letting it happen this year. I'm not letting it sneak up on me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just the way it is.
Piper this year, I can't remember. It was somewhere before Thanksgiving. It was after Halloween. Like she was making jokes, like singing Christmas carols, when she would like play something randomly and like hold it up on her phone like down the hall. So I would, it's Christmas time in there. Yeah. So early November, like it was already. We're having a running joke about it.
Yeah.
But there were a couple times, in the teens of November where I'm in here working on the fat bike or something, and I would tell the lady, holiday music. And I got into it early, which kind of leads me into how are you and Christmas shopping so far? Or is that a thing for you? Are you ahead, behind?
Oh, I'm behind for sure.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm already wrapping stuff.
Jesus.
I'm pretty close to. I feel like this year, like I've gated myself. Like, okay, these are the things and the little gag gifts that like are important.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I don't want to be behind the 8 ball, like wondering if we're jamming up an Amazon delivery like 2 days to go. So I'm pretty damn close to being done.
Nice.
Like, and stuff is being wrapped and actively. And the other thing was Christmas.
It's only November 30th.
I know, but like the Secret Santa stuff too was like part of like that instigation. I'm like, I gotta dial some of these things in because
Secret Santa, like all of a sudden I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, I gotta move.
Yeah. Yeah. What am I gonna do?
Right.
Yeah.
So when that got moved up to where it was, I was like, ooh, all right, I got to get ahead of this. Well, I might as well finish like what else I'm dialing in here. Check boxes and shipping. So, the bulk of...
I'm not that organized.
Everything. But then it like feels weird to like it be November 30th and to like see presents under the Christmas tree. And I'm like... Yeah, but like part of like the
for literally a month.
Yeah, now it's
gonna
sit there. I'm gonna hope Jax isn't gonna eat wrapping paper, and I'm gonna pull it out of his ass on.
You're like, oh, that's where that gift went.
Yeah, great. That's where the tags are. Fantastic.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, but part of the thing is like Christmas Eve. You've got a number of things and then Christmas Day, like all of a sudden,
yeah,
Santa Claus shit all over the bottom of the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess we're all past the part where you need to be shocked and awed by the, whoa, a whole bunch of extra cool stuff showed up and wow,
Yeah, we're beyond all that. But like last year was the first time we ever, and I mean this literally, slept in our house on Christmas Eve. Our own house.
Yeah.
Because we would typically go to my in-laws and stay there. We would be there. We would usually sleep over at their house for like 2 or 3 nights.
It's a bit much.
Well, it was just because we were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And it would be like, we'll just stay another night. We'll get up tomorrow. We'll kind of like clean up. I can't remember.
Was there a reason that was that way last year? It was like COVID related, was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Kind of.
Because we were still on the tail end?
Yeah. Well, they've been really careful.
Have they?
Yeah, the in-laws.
Do you think it's going to be that way for this year, too?
I don't know. I kind of hope so, because I really enjoyed it, to be quite honest.
For the first time ever. And I liked it.
I did. I really did. We got up and had Christmas morning at our house, and we opened gifts that we gave each other.
Well, and this year, too, right? Data's won't be in the house.
No, he's got his own apartment. Melly will be home.
Yeah.
She'll be home.
But Data's, unless he came over to stay the night for the purpose of staying the night.
He doesn't have anywhere to sleep.
Oh, yeah, fuck that guy.
It would be blow up mattress on the floor of his old room.
Fuck that guy.
I mean, he would just have to come over in the morning or something, So, yeah, that's kind of different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How's that going to work?
I don't know. That's because I don't think that when he had moved out before, there was a Christmas season that he lived in that other house.
Oh, yeah. It didn't overlap yet?
Yeah. And then they moved home before Christmas.
He was doing like pre-dad things with Nicole, going out and getting a tree for their own home.
Yeah. Yeah. They're decorated. And got a tree and all that stuff.
No, yeah.
He seems like he's really enjoying that aspect of having his own place, and So, but yeah, that's different, and it's different for us too, because now it's like we pretty much have a Christmas season, which I don't think we've ever had, where the kids haven't just been around all the way up through the holiday.
Yeah,
it's different for us for sure. Weird. It's kind of weird to think about.
I was at too like a week and a half ago. Like I said, the Piper triggered it early with like her jokes about Christmas songs, but like it's still a good trigger. Like if I hear like the oldies holiday music, like it just starts to kick in. Yeah. We were at, I think it was Lowe's or Home Depot, looking for something. I don't remember what it was. And back by the outdoor, the garden area, they had like fresh cut Christmas wreaths that had that really strong trucky Tahoe pine smell.
Yeah.
That just outside front of Rayleigh's, you're not really getting, like they have them, but they don't still have that high.
Right.
Like I'm from the where you can still smell the sap and the pine.
Right.
These ones at Home Depot or Lowe's were like smack you in the face like, hi, are you ready to be in the snow-covered holiday hills?
So they're from the Christmas tree farm that was on the show on the Hallmark Channel?
Yeah. I mean, it was like dead nuts. Like all of a sudden I'm like the guy in Ratatouille when he's eating the home-cooked meal. I'm like, let's go to the tree farm and cut the Christmas tree and have hot cocoa and apple cider and an apple fritter. It smelled the trigger. The smell trigger was just like, oh, this is amazing. It's Christmas time. And then we were over here, Rayleigh's, like going to grocery shop, and they had wreaths, and I just kind of stuck my nose and I'm like, nah, that doesn't do it. Like there's something about a fresh cut pine, that still smells like from the wild.
Well, the tree that Chandler went and they got a permit, and they're on public land.
Oh,
and they go on public land and cut down whatever tree they want. And I don't even know where you go to do this, but they had to print a permit they had to take with them.
That's good, though.
And they pay like $10, and it's part of, I don't know, federal land or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you go and
part of the Raking the Forest program.
Guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Trump. It's the Trump tree.
Yeah.
The Trump tree program.
The deforestation program.
Right.
Brought to you by your own nearest conservative.
Yeah. But, and so I assume, we haven't been over to look at it. It was a nice looking tree. But I assume that probably smells very piney. Because they drove up to like Truckee or something to get that thing. So I don't know. I don't think they just pulled off the highway somewhere.
Well, there was no story from his pictures, and I'm like, I don't want to know.
You didn't, you weren't privy to that. But he actually paid like $10, and you can, I think Shanna's teacher that she works with also did the same thing, like pay $10.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's an experience. I don't know if we've done it with the kids. I don't think we've done it with the kids. We've gone to a tree farm and cut down a tree.
Well, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than going to the tree place here in town and spending $150, $200 on a tree.
I saw something about that. I think mid-November. Like expect Christmas tree prices to be higher than prior years. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, it was already expensive. You're looking at $50 to $60 for something that's like 4.5, maybe 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really need me some nostalgia, but if I can get that wreath for $10, and slap my fake tree with it, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the real tree experience, but my wife's allergies just go crazy if there's a tree in the house.
Yeah.
A real tree.
Yeah.
We got our tree down and set it up, and one of the strands of lights that were on it was completely dead. So we had this like black stripe in the middle of the tree.
Oh, Tiger Christmas.
And I'm like, fuck. Do we have to go buy a new tree? And then we used to have like one of those. You ever seen those clicker tools that are for Christmas tree lights? Or not tree lights, but Christmas lights or string lights in general.
A clicker. No.
That's a little tool, and you plug the lights end into it, and you click it, and it's supposed to fix what they call shunts in the line, or if it's got broken bulbs, it allows it somehow to bypass the broken bulbs or something.
Okay.
I don't really understand how it works, Jason. Okay. Because it's confusing, and
I've read the clicker.
It looks like a little red gun, and it's got different tools on it. And one of them is that you plug the end of the strip in and you click the thing. It has a little trigger. You pull it and you click it.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one is that you pull a bulb out of a socket and then you put that into this little socket and then pull the trigger.
Okay.
So in this particular case, putting this strand of lights and plugging it in with the plug didn't do anything at all. But as I pulled one of the light bulbs out of the sockets and punched it in this thing and then clicked it a few times, and the rest of the strand just came back on. And then once I put the bulb back in its place, the strand was fine.
Okay, so my first question is the bulb that you choose to put this adapter in,
is that random one that was in the strand that was dead?
That it was, okay.
And then you take the socket
of this, the clicker.
You take the socket of that where you pulled the bulb out.
Right.
And then you put that into the clicker thing and then click the thing. And then the strand was plugged in still. Okay. Right. So as I'm clicking it, you could see the lights come on. They all lit up.
Okay.
And then when I pulled it off, they would go back out. And then I put the bulb back in and then the light strand came back on. It was fine. So we have no dead strands. I don't understand how this thing works.
Is the amount of lights that were out more than one?
I don't know. I didn't bother to go through every bulb on the strand.
Right, but if you put the socket in,
yeah,
did the entire strand not light up, or did like a series of multiple lights not light up?
There was one. Okay, so this tree is like, it has, the lights are built into it.
Okay.
And so they're all connected through the center hub of it, because it's a fake tree, right?
Right.
And so when you take the bottom section of the tree and put it on the base,
okay,
the base is plugged into the wall,
okay,
and it lights the whole base. And then the next section, the circle part, which is the trunk, fits into the next one.
Okay.
And as soon as it clicks in, the next part lights up.
Okay.
So there's no like wires that go between. They're all part of the center trunk.
Okay.
This particular one was in the bottom section, and there are plugs. There's one plug that goes into the trunk.
Okay.
Okay. And I could unplug it and like see different lights go out. And then there were two strands that were connected together, and I could unplug that and see one strand go out or whatever. So that looked like that plug was the one that went to the dead lights. So I took that plug and plugged it into the clicker tool. That didn't do anything. So I plugged that back in. It still didn't light up. Then, excuse me, then I just took one of the bulbs that was near me, that was on the dead strand, and pulled the bulb out.
Okay.
Then took the socket,
right,
not of the bulb, but of the
fixer tool.
Took the socket where the bulb goes into,
right,
and put that into the front of the clicker tool. It has a little thing that you put the socket on.
Gotcha.
And then clicked it a couple times, and then the rest of the strand lit up, which it previously was not.
Okay, gotcha. I'm with you so far.
Then when I unplugged it, it went out.
Right.
And I went, oh, that's strange. Maybe it needs the continuity of this light bulb.
Right.
So I plugged that in. As soon as I plugged it in, the rest of the strand was now on. So whatever is happening, I don't know what is happening when you click the tool, but it does something that fixes something in the strand, and now all of the fucking lights work.
That is some David Copperfield shit.
Because
I don't know. I understand the continuity thing, but I have no idea what the tool is doing.
I read this thing multiple times over the years. Okay, first of all, I had one of these tools, and I let my father-in-law borrow it like 2 years ago. Never got it back, and now apparently it's over at my brother-in-law's house. So I was kind of upset that I didn't now have the tool that I bought for the thing that I needed it for.
Okay.
Because I've had it work before too.
Okay.
So I had to go buy another fucking tool to get my tree working at $30. But it's better.
Is it Amazon or Target?
I bought it at Ace.
I've never seen this thing. Okay, so
I'll have to pull it up and let you see what it is.
Okay. Well, I'll put it in the link in the description of the YouTube episode for sure.
But I spent $30 on the tool again, and it fixed the tree that was $300.
We have to know how this thing works.
I don't know what it's doing.
By the next episode.
Yeah, what is it doing? But so reading the paperwork or the instructions that it comes with, it says that it has something to do with bulbs that are bad, and there's a shunt. That's the word it uses. There's a shunt that it somehow, when you click it, it fixes the shunt and then allows the rest of the bulbs to work somehow.
Right.
I don't know.
But you didn't replace the bulb that you...
I didn't replace any bulb.
I pulled in the socket.
I had a dead set of lights, right?
You picked a light.
I pulled a light out, put the socket from that light, not from the light, but from the strand into the tool, clicked it a couple times, and the strand lit up. And I went, what the shit? Okay, cool. When I pulled it off, the rest of the lights now went out because I had a bulb out. Then I put the bulb that I just took out, and I put it back into the strand, and now the lights are all lit.
All the lights.
The entire strand, which was completely dead before, is now lit up.
This is some miracle of Christmas Santa Claus shit, dude.
I honestly don't understand it. I just know that it works.
I'm going to tie this to our final message about lights being out. One of the things that I noticed in driving around more for Ingress and the holiday travels to SoCal, people are not paying enough attention to whether or not both of their headlights or both of their taillights are working.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy or gal or person, I don't care. When you go to check your oil once a month, you clean your windshield, get gas, leave your lights on, check both of your headlights work. Pump your brakes and let a friend tell you if or a neighbor check your lights.
Yeah.
Make sure both of your lights and both your tail lights and both of your headlights work.
Don't get me started on the people that get in their car and start it and don't turn their lights on because they see the
fog lights or courtesy lights, daylight running.
The daytime running lights are lit and their dashboard's lit up. So they just go, my lights are on. But the whole back half of the car is black and no one can see you. Don't get me started on that. It drives me nuts.
I had come into the show like with wanting to talk about taillights.
Yeah.
Because it was like, wow, this is like a large frequency beyond what I was used to. Last night, on my way to go get the keys and the port links, I'm in a retirement community. On my way out, I am at a stop sign, and coming at me, a car had just gotten to the stop sign before me. They flip a U-turn, and they've got something on the hood, which I just figured was like, or not the hood, but on the roof of the car that I figured was like a pizza delivery something.
Domino's or something.
Retirement community, so I'm minding my distance, because who knows what grandma's going to do, and she wasn't following me. She was ahead of me this time. So I'm giving this person space. Get to the light, make a left. This person is still driving slightly abnormally slow. They pull off at the next light to make a left, and I pass them, and I look up, and I see Citizens Patrol on the roof of the car.
Sun City.
And I'm like, oh, all right. And then as I got past the car, I saw that a fucking headlight was out.
Oh.
And it just irked me to no end that, one, you're trying to portray or offer a service as like a guardian, or like you want to think that you've got the capabilities for some sort of citizen's arrest.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep things up on the level and you're guarding the neighborhood or some shit. And you yourself can't even be bothered to handle your own maintenance, low-hanging fruit shit. You're driving around with one headlight. Oh man, I was so pissed.
I understand this. I totally understand what you're saying. But we don't know if they got in the car for their shift as the security, the people's security or whatever it is, and the bulb was now stopped working. We don't know if it was working on the previous drive. We don't know when that thing burned out.
Yeah, we don't.
But I'm going to say this. I was playing Ingress. This was in the time before, and I had a headlight go out in my car, and I was playing Ingress, and I was in Rockland, and I got pulled over, And the officer says, you know why I pulled you over? I said, probably because I have a headlight out. And he says, yeah. And I said, yeah, it just went out and I'm having some electrical problem that it's popping headlights. And I know I need to go get it fixed. It just happened. And he was like, okay, get it fixed. And he left.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it literally just happened to me. I could have been bullshitting with the guy, but also I gave him some information on, I know it's out. I was having problems with my alternator.
No.
And it was overcharging and killing bulbs. So that was one of the problems because the regulator in it died.
Sounds bulbous.
Yeah. So that was one of the 2 times I got to replace my alternator where because it was blowing bulbs in my car. But we don't know. I mean, when I see a car, I'm like, those fuckers are driving around with the fucking one headlight, and it pisses me off too.
Yeah.
But also, we don't know if it just went out. Like, they could have just hit a bump down the street and around the corner, and the bulb died.
Right. That's the positive end.
Right.
But to the yes.
I know. I totally understand what you're saying, though.
Here's your disclaimer. I realize 100% not every one of you are fucking idiots driving around with your one ball out with one taillight out.
Yeah.
And it could be a mechanical. So here's my
It could have just happened.
Here's my caveat.
Just do it.
Just don't drive around. Check your shit. You know.
Yeah, taillights are the worst.
Certainly some of these drivers
yeah.
are oblivious to what the genie light means.
Oh my gosh.
And that they should, on a routine basis, make sure that the lights used for warning other drivers that they share the road with are all working properly. Yeah. Some of the newer cars are fancy and have all kinds of electrical shenanigans going on. I get that. But some of these certainly probably could be netted in a, hey, I should check this.
My wife's car had a taillight go out, and I didn't know. And then a neighbor, one of our good friends, like one of the oldest neighbors we have, as far as like the age of the neighborhood, was like, hey, you have a brake light out on your CRV. And I was like, oh shoot, we do. And I fucking ran. We looked at it. It was dead. Mm-hmm. I went to AutoZone and picked up a bulb right then. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't want my wife driving around with one tail light out.
Right.
You know? And it was like half an hour I had that thing replaced.
So there's no excuses. All these fuckers who have their lights, see?
I mean,
all of a sudden you just threw all the people you're trying to save under the bus.
No, I'm saying,
it only took
but
30
the
minutes.
thing is, it did, but like also you have to know it's out in order to fix it.
Right. So between the two of us, we should have solved this problem.
We'll never see another.
I'll raise
light
awareness, and then you'll be like, and it only takes you 30 minutes.
Well, and that was the total trip, to go to AutoZone, get buy the bulb, and come back. And replace the bulb was 30 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not hard.
It's not.
Some headlights might be a pain.
And if you need help, you can ask a neighbor or take it to
email you.
Yeah.
Email Foo at sadddadsclub@podcast@gmail.com. And he'll come over and replace.
And by taillights, we mean actual taillights, #Will.
What about your headlights? Will you do theirs?
Whose? I'll change headlights.
You'll do the headlights and the taillights?
Yeah.
Chandler actually replaced someone at the dance studio's headlights because they had a bulb out for him. Yeah. He fixed it for him.
On that note.
Anyway. Yeah, you just never know how long it was when it blew.
Right. But I think some people don't check.
That's for sure. Well, that's for sure.
So if you're listening.
It's hard to check taillights. You have to have a buddy.
You do.
Or, well, the way I found I had a taillight out was...
Or just,
step on the brake when you got like a glass...
Yeah.
Your
neighbor's window behind you.
Or at a store or something. You press on it, you just see your car in the...
Look in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, damn, I do have a light out.
Oh, God. It's out.
Yeah. The headlights are fucking obvious.
Everyone who listens now has no excuse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've at least scoped a small amount of the populace.
At a minimum, Tony should be doing this.
Right.
when he checks his oil also.
And he should return the cart.
He should wash his hands.
Wash your ass.
Oh, for sure. That thing's disgusting. And also, you should make the call if you need help.
Wear a mask.
And do the kindness.
Get the shot. And, to tie that in, don't be afraid to get the boosters. Like the RSV that's going around, and there's, COVID's still here. Like,
no.
Yeah. Be safe. Take the test, all that stuff, do the kindness.
Yeah.
That's
Get the shot.
We got it.
Take it easy, everybody.
We'll catch you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.